to Through the Bible. Let us continue with little boy Samuel's story. God speaks to Samuel. 1 Samuel chapters 2 to 4. Young Samuel grew up serving God at the tabernacle. Every year, his parents, Elkanah and Hannah, would travel from Ramah to visit him, and his mother would bring him a new coat. Eli blessed Elkanah and his wife and asked God to give them other children to take the place of Samuel, who had been given to the Lord. The Lord gave Hannah 3 sons and 2 daughters. Now Eli's own sons were very wicked young men. Though they were priests, they served the devil instead of God. When the people of Israel brought sacrifices to be offered to the Lord, Hophni and Phinehas even stole some of the meat for themselves. God saw their contempt for his offerings as a serious matter. Poor old Eli was too old to notice what was happening, but the Israelites knew and were unhappy about it. When Eli eventually learned of their evil ways, he warned them, but they wouldn't listen to him. Eli was very sad. But Samuel served Eli faithfully, and the old man loved the boy. One night, Eli had gone to bed in his little tent at the side of the tabernacle. Little Samuel was in his bed. Suddenly, the Lord himself called Samuel. The little boy did not know whose voice it was, but he answered, "Here I am." Then he ran to Eli because he thought that the old man had called him. But Eli answered, "I did not call you. Go and lie down." So Samuel went back to his sleeping mat. He had hardly lain down when the voice called once again. Again Samuel ran to Eli, and again the old man told him to go back to his bed. When it happened a third time, Eli realized that it was the Lord calling Samuel. He told the boy that if he heard the voice again, he must answer, "Speak, Lord, for thy servant is listening." And God did call again. And when Samuel answered, he gave the boy this very important message. "I have seen how badly the sons of Eli behave, and I have seen that Eli has done nothing to stop them. I will punish them greatly. The priesthood will be taken away from them, and none of their descendants will have the right to act as priests ever again." After hearing that awful message, Samuel lay on his bed until morning without sleeping. He was afraid to tell Eli what God had said because he loved the old man so much. But in the morning, Eli called him and made him tell what God had said. Eli was sad, but he knew that what God had said was right. It was not long before all the people knew that God had spoken directly to Samuel. That meant he was a prophet, God's spokesman to his people, and the people respected Samuel greatly. From then on, God spoke often to Samuel, and in the tabernacle at Shiloh, He passed on to the people of Israel God's message to them. When Eli the priest was a very old man, the people of Israel were greatly troubled by the Philistines who lived along the coast of the Great Sea, which we call the Mediterranean Sea. There was a great battle near a place called Ebenezer, and the Israelites were badly beaten. When they heard the terrible news, the elders of Israel gathered to consider what must be done to prevent the whole nation being destroyed. They decided that the Ark of the Covenant must be brought out of the tabernacle in Shiloh and taken with the army, and then all would be well. So up they went to Shiloh and right into the Holy of Holies, where no one was supposed to go at all except the high priest, and he only on the Day of Atonement. What made it worse was that the two bad sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, helped to take away the ark and went with it to the army camp. When the ark arrived in the camp, the soldiers gave a great shout. When the Philistines heard the shout, they were afraid and were sure that now the Israelites would defeat them. But when the battle took place, the Israelites were beaten again. Worst of all, the ark was captured and Eli's two sons were killed. On that day, the old man Eli was sitting on a seat beside the road, waiting fearfully for the news. At the end of the battle, a man came running into Shiloh with his clothes all torn and dirty to tell them what had happened. When Eli heard of the death of his sons, and especially of the capture of the ark, the poor old man, he was 98 years old, fell from his seat, broke his neck, and died.